Female pleasure focus. There exists within every woman a universe of sensation, a spectrum of joy, a profound capacity for a pleasure so deeply interwoven with her essence that to deny it is to deny life itself. For generations, this intrinsic truth, this radiant core of female experience, has been veiled, misunderstood, often deliberately suppressed, relegated to whispers or dismissed as frivolous. It has been confined by external definitions, shackled by outdated narratives, and diminished by a world that too often fears the untamed power of a woman fully alive, fully embodied, fully attuned to the symphony of her own being. This pleasure I speak of transcends the fleeting. It is not a mere indulgence, but a compass pointing towards your most authentic self, a wellspring of vitality, a testament to your inherent worthiness to experience the full, glorious spectrum of a life lived on your own terms. It is the deep, resonant hum of alignment, the exhilarating thrill of self-discovery, the profound contentment of a spirit unleashed. To focus on this pleasure, to reclaim it, to cultivate it, is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of profound self-mastery, a revolutionary declaration that you are ready to inhabit the totality of your power and radiate your unique brilliance into a world starved for authentic light. Most live tethered to a muted existence, their senses dulled by the relentless demands of a life not entirely of their own choosing, their inner landscapes echoing with the shoulds and musts imposed by a culture that has yet to fully comprehend, let alone celebrate, the vastness of female potential for joy and profound fulfillment. They seek validation in external achievements, in the approval of others, in conforming to prescribed roles. All the while a deeper hunger, a sacred yearning for something more, goes unheeded. This yearning is the call of your own intrinsic pleasure, the desire of your soul to express itself fully, to experience the world with open senses, an open heart, and an unbridled spirit. It is the pleasure of knowing your worth, not as it is defined by others, but as it resonates from the unshakable core of your being. It is the pleasure of purpose, of passion, of deep connection, to yourself, to others, to the very pulse of life. To ignore this call is to live a half-life, to silence the most beautiful music your soul was meant to play. But you are here. You are listening. And that signifies a turning, a readiness to embark on the most sacred journey of all, the journey back to the heart of your own magnificent, pleasure-filled truth. This path requires courage. It demands that you dismantle the internal and external barriers that have for too long stood between you and your birthright to a life rich with authentic joy. It asks you to redefine pleasure, not as a guilty secret or a trivial pursuit, but as a vital nutrient for your soul, an indicator of your alignment with your deepest truth. When you consciously choose to focus on what brings you genuine life-affirming pleasure, in your work, your relationships, your creative expressions, your moments of quiet contemplation, you are, in essence, choosing to live in a state of grace, a state of power, a state of profound self-acceptance. This is not about hedonism. It is about an enlightened form of self-stewardship. It is about understanding that your capacity to experience deep pleasure is directly proportional to your capacity to create, to love, to lead, and to inspire. This focus is the key to unlocking reserves of energy, creativity, and resilience you never knew you possessed. It is the beginning of a magnificent unfolding, a blossoming into the woman you were always meant to be. The world has waited long enough. It is time to claim the full measure of your joy. 696 words. The first sacred ground you must reclaim in this profound focus is the landscape of your own mind, for it is here that the seeds of either joyful expansion or joyless constriction are sown. Your mind, that intricate loom weaving the tapestry of your experience, can be either your most devoted ally in this quest for authentic pleasure, or your most formidable saboteur. For too long, perhaps, the narrative of female pleasure has been distorted, not only by external forces, but by the internalized voices of doubt, shame, and unworthiness that echo within. These are the phantom tyrants that whisper you are too much or not enough, that tell you your desires are inappropriate, your joy unwarranted, your quest for deep fulfillment selfish or misguided. These are the inherited limitations, the conditioned responses that have built invisible fences around your capacity to experience the full, exquisite range of your being. To master this focus, you must first become the vigilant gatekeeper of your thoughts, the conscious cultivator of a mindset that fiercely champions your right to profound, holistic pleasure. This requires an unwavering belief, not just in the possibility of such a life, but in your inherent deservingness of it. This is not arrogance. It is a fundamental truth that has been obscured. Belief, as the great architect of human achievement Napoleon Hill so powerfully articulated, is the starting point of all accomplishment. And what greater accomplishment is there for a woman than to build a life that is a true and radiant expression of her deepest joy, her most authentic self? This belief must be nurtured daily, consciously. It means actively challenging and dismantling the limiting beliefs that have taken root. Beliefs about your body, your intelligence, your creativity, your sensuality, your power, your worth. It means replacing the narrative of scarcity and self-denial with a new story, one of abundance, self-celebration, and the sacredness of your own experience. Think of the pioneering women throughout history. The artists, the scientists, the leaders, the healers, who dared to believe in their visions, in their voices, in their intrinsic worth, often against staggering societal opposition. They understood, consciously or intuitively, that their inner conviction was the wellspring of their outer impact. Their pleasure, their fulfillment, was found in the courageous expression of their unique gifts, a pleasure that doubt could not extinguish. How do you cultivate this unshakable belief in your own right to a pleasure-filled existence? You begin by flooding your consciousness with affirmations that resonate with this truth. You declare silently and aloud, "I am worthy of joy. I embrace the full spectrum of my being. My pleasure is a sacred guide. I am an architect of a life that delights my soul." You visualize yourself living this truth, feeling the sensations of profound contentment, of vibrant energy, of authentic connection. You saturate your mind with images and experiences that nourish your spirit, that affirm your beauty, your strength, your innate wisdom. This is not about constructing a fantasy. It is about aligning your inner reality with the deepest truth of your potential. It means curating your influences, surrounding yourself with those who celebrate your journey, who reflect back to you your own brilliance, and distancing yourself from voices, whether internal or external, that seek to diminish or deny your light. This conscious cultivation of belief creates a fertile inner ground where the seeds of authentic pleasure can not only sprout but flourish, transforming your entire experience of life from one of striving and lack to one of thriving and abundance. This belief is your shield against the old programs of doubt, your compass guiding you ever inward, ever onward, towards the radiant heart of your own well-being. With this bedrock of unwavering belief in your inherent worthiness of a life filled with profound, authentic pleasure, the next vital illumination comes from clarity. You must define with luminous precision what this pleasure focus truly means for you, in the unique context of your own soul's yearning. Vague desires for happiness or fulfillment are like mist. They offer no solid ground upon which to build, no clear beacon to navigate by. Doubt thrives in ambiguity, whispering that if you don't even know what you truly seek, how can you ever hope to find it? The world bombards women with prescribed images of what their lives, their happiness, their pleasures should look like. But true, deep, soul-satisfying pleasure is not a one-size-fits-all commodity. It is an intimate, personal discovery, a resonance unique to your own spirit. Therefore, you must become an explorer of your own inner landscape, an archaeologist of your own deepest desires. This is your definite chief aim, reframed not merely in terms of external achievement, but in the quality of your lived, embodied experience. What activities make your spirit sing? What environments nourish your soul? What kind of connections bring you a sense of genuine belonging and joyful exchange? What creative expressions allow your unique essence to flow unhindered? What does a day, a week, a life feel like when it is deeply infused with authentic pleasure, with meaning, with vibrant aliveness as defined by you? Take the time for sacred introspection. Journal, meditate, walk in nature. Engage in activities that quiet the external noise and allow the subtle whispers of your own heart to be heard. Ask yourself courageous questions. If I were truly free from all expectation, all fear, all perceived obligation, what would I choose? What brings a sparkle to my eyes, a lightness to my step, a deep sense of yes in my belly? Write these discoveries down. Create a vision board not just of material things but of feelings, experiences, states of being. Let this vision be so compelling, so rich with sensory detail, that it becomes a magnetic force, pulling you towards its realization. Consider women like Georgia O'Keeffe, who found her profound pleasure and purpose in capturing the stark, sensual beauty of the natural world, defying the artistic conventions of her time. Her clarity of vision, her unwavering focus on what uniquely moved her, allowed her to create a body of work that was a pure extension of her inner world, a testament to her unique way of seeing and feeling. She didn't seek to replicate what others deemed pleasurable or artistically valid. She followed the call of her own distinct aesthetic joy. This clarity of what constitutes your authentic pleasure is your power. It allows you to make conscious choices, to set boundaries that protect your energy and your joy, to say no to what drains you and a resounding yes to what enlivens you. It provides a filter through which you can assess opportunities, relationships, and commitments. Does this align with my vision of a pleasure-filled, authentic life? Does this nourish my spirit or deplete it? When your focus is clear, the path, while not always easy, becomes self-evident. Distractions lose their allure. The subtle sabotages of doubt, which often manifest as confusion or indecision, begin to dissipate in the bright light of your defined intention. You become the deliberate creatrix of your experience, no longer a passive recipient of whatever life happens to throw your way, but an active participant in crafting a reality that deeply satisfies your soul. This clarity is not a rigid box, but a vibrant, evolving compass, guiding you towards an ever-deepening experience of your own unique and sacred pleasure. 689 words. This luminous clarity, this intimate understanding of what constitutes your authentic pleasure, must then be infused with the incandescent energy of purpose. A life focused solely on fleeting sensory gratification, devoid of a deeper why, ultimately feels hollow, a beautiful vessel without precious cargo. True, enduring pleasure, the kind that resonates through the marrow of your being and sustains you through life's inevitable challenges, is almost always interwoven with a sense of purpose that extends beyond the self. This purpose is the soul's answer to the question, to what greater end am I dedicating my energy, my talents, my unique capacity for joy? When your pursuit of authentic pleasure is yoked to a meaningful contribution, however that manifests for you, it takes on a profound significance, a sacred power. Doubt often attacks the perceived selfishness of seeking one's own joy. But when your joy becomes a wellspring from which you nourish others, from which you create beauty, from which you offer your unique gifts to the world, then that doubt is rendered powerless. Your purpose might be found in nurturing a family, in building a conscious business, in creating art that heals or provokes, in advocating for justice, in mentoring others, in tending to the earth, or simply in radiating a compassionate and joyful presence in your daily interactions. The scale is irrelevant. The sincerity and alignment with your core values are paramount. Think of women like Maya Angelou, whose profound pleasure in the music of language, in the power of story, was inextricably linked to her purpose of giving voice to the silenced, of healing wounds through words, of celebrating the resilience of the human, and particularly the female spirit. Her joy in her craft fueled her purpose, and her purpose imbued her joy with unshakable meaning. This synergy creates a powerful, self-sustaining current of energy. The pleasure you derive from engaging in purposeful activity motivates you to persist, and the positive impact of your purposeful action deepens your sense of fulfillment and pleasure. To uncover or clarify your purpose in relation to your pleasure focus, ask yourself, what unique gifts do I possess that, when expressed, bring me alive and also contribute something of value to others or to the world? What problems or needs in the world touch my heart so deeply that I feel compelled to offer my energy towards a solution? When I feel most authentically myself, most joyful, what is the natural overflow of that state? Often, your greatest pleasure and your deepest purpose reside in the same sacred space, where your unique talents meet the world's needs. When you operate from this intersection, your life ceases to be a series of disconnected tasks and becomes a meaningful tapestry, each thread vibrant with both personal joy and purposeful contribution. This doesn't mean every moment will be ecstatic. Purpose often demands hard work, sacrifice, and navigating discomfort. But underpinning it all will be a profound sense of rightness, a deep knowing that you are living in alignment with your soul's design. This conviction, this marriage of authentic pleasure and profound purpose, creates an inner fortitude that is virtually impregnable to the assaults of doubt. It provides an unwavering why that empowers you to navigate any how, transforming your pursuit of pleasure from a mere personal quest into a vital, life-affirming mission. Now, with a mind anchored in unwavering belief, a path illuminated by the pristine clarity of your unique pleasure vision, and a spirit ignited by a profound and resonant purpose, you arrive at the threshold of embodiment, the courageous translation of inner knowing into outer living through disciplined, devoted action. All the insight, all the vision, all the heartfelt intention remains but a shimmering dream until it is grounded in the tangible reality of your daily choices, your habits, your courageous steps into the world. Doubt, that insidious saboteur, often erects its most formidable barricades at this very juncture. It whispers of inadequacy, of the fear of judgment, of the comfort of the known, however joyless it may be. It tempts you with the anesthesia of procrastination, suggesting that someday will be a better time to claim your joy, to live your truth. But someday is the phantom currency of a life unlived. The power to embody your pleasure focus, to weave it into the very fabric of your existence, resides in the fierce, immediate now. This requires a new kind of discipline. Not the harsh, punitive discipline of self-denial, but the loving, empowering discipline of self-commitment. It is the discipline to prioritize your well-being, to carve out sacred time for activities that nourish your soul, even amidst the clamor of external demands. It is the discipline to set and maintain healthy boundaries, courageously saying no to what drains your spirit and yes to what ignites your authentic pleasure, even if it disappoints others or challenges societal norms. It is the discipline to listen intently to the subtle cues of your body, your intuition, your emotional landscape. For these are the messengers of your deepest truth, guiding you towards what genuinely delights and away from what diminishes. Consider the discipline of an artist like Frida Kahlo, who, despite immense physical pain and emotional turmoil, relentlessly translated her inner world, her agony and her ecstasy, onto canvas. Her discipline was not a rigid adherence to external rules, but a fierce, unwavering commitment to her own raw, authentic expression, a profound act of claiming pleasure and meaning even amidst suffering. This devoted action must also be imbued with joyful persistence. The path to a life rich in authentic pleasure is not a linear ascent. It is a dance, with moments of exhilarating flight and moments of grounding recalibration. There will be days when old patterns resurface, when the world's noise seeks to drown out your inner wisdom, when your energy wanes. Doubt will seize these opportunities, suggesting that your efforts are futile, that true, sustainable joy is an illusion. It is here that persistence, born not of grim determination but of a deep love for your own unfolding, becomes paramount. It is the gentle, consistent returning to your practices, to your vision, to your purpose. It is forgiving yourself for perceived missteps and courageously choosing, again and again, to align your actions with your deepest knowing. It is celebrating small victories, acknowledging every step taken towards a more pleasure-filled existence, however incremental it may seem. This persistence is not about forcing or striving in a way that negates pleasure. It is about a steadfast, loving commitment to your own blossoming. It is the understanding that cultivating a life of authentic pleasure is a lifelong journey, a continuous unfolding, an art form that you refine with each conscious breath, each deliberate choice. Through such devoted, disciplined, and joyfully persistent action, you actively sculpt a reality that mirrors the beauty, the vibrancy, and the profound pleasure of your authentic, empowered female spirit. 666 words. As you courageously walk this path of embodying your authentic pleasure through devoted action, you will inevitably encounter the winds of challenge, the storms of internal resistance, and the friction of a world not always attuned to a woman vibrantly alive in her own truth. It is here, in the crucible of lived experience, that the qualities of resilience and adaptability become your most steadfast companions, transforming potential setbacks into profound opportunities for growth and deeper self-understanding. Doubt will often manifest as fear of judgment, fear of failure, or the disorienting discomfort of stepping outside familiar, albeit unfulfilling patterns. It may whisper that your pursuit of pleasure is naive, that the world will inevitably crush your joyful spirit. Resilience is your sacred shield against these barbs. It is not about avoiding pain or discomfort, but about developing the inner capacity to meet these experiences with grace, to extract their wisdom, and to emerge not only intact but strengthened, your focus on authentic pleasure refined and renewed. Think of women who have navigated immense societal pressures or personal adversities, yet managed to cultivate an inner wellspring of joy and purpose. Women like Helen Keller, who, despite the profound limitations of being deaf and blind, found immense pleasure in learning, in communication, in advocating for others. Her resilience was not a denial of her challenges, but a testament to the human spirit's extraordinary ability to find light even in the deepest darkness, to create meaning and joy against seemingly insurmountable odds. This resilience is nurtured by self-compassion, by treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a beloved friend navigating a difficult passage. It is about acknowledging your vulnerability not as a weakness, but as a gateway to deeper connection and authentic strength. It is about understanding that failure is merely feedback, an invitation to adjust your course, not a verdict on your worthiness or your capacity to achieve a pleasure-filled life. Adaptability, then, is the graceful dance partner to resilience. It is the wisdom to know when to stand firm in your convictions and when to flow like water around an obstacle, always maintaining your trajectory towards your core vision of authentic pleasure, but remaining flexible in your methods. The world is in constant flux. Your own needs and desires will evolve. What brought you profound joy yesterday may shift tomorrow. Adaptability allows you to honor these changes, to release what no longer serves, and to embrace new avenues for pleasure and fulfillment without clinging rigidly to outdated plans or expectations. This requires a practice of continuous learning. Learning about yourself, learning from your experiences, learning from the wisdom of others who walk similar paths. Stay curious. Remain open. Be willing to unlearn old patterns that constrict your joy and to embrace new perspectives that expand your capacity for pleasure. This dynamic interplay of resilience, adaptability, and continuous learning transforms your journey into an ever-evolving masterpiece. You cease to be a fragile vessel, easily broken by life's storms, and become instead a deeply rooted yet supple tree, capable of weathering any tempest, drawing nourishment even from harsh conditions, and continuing to reach towards the sun, your branches heavy with the fruits of authentic, hard-won pleasure. 600 words. Total word count so far. 3949 words. This is close to the 4,000-word minimum. I will now write the climactic, emotionally resonant conclusion to bring it well over the target and complete the arc. As you stand now, armed with a profound understanding that your authentic pleasure is not a peripheral luxury but the very essence of your vital force, the core of your empowered self, you are invited to step into a new paradigm of existence. This journey of focusing on, claiming and cultivating your deepest joy is the ultimate act of self-liberation, a sacred rebellion against every narrative that has ever sought to diminish your light or confine your spirit. You have explored the necessity of an unwavering belief in your worthiness of this pleasure, the illuminating power of clarity in defining what truly delights your soul, the incandescent energy of a purpose that infuses your joy with meaning, the transformative might of disciplined, devoted action that embodies your vision, and the unshakable strength found in resilience, adaptability, and continuous learning. These are not mere concepts. They are the golden keys to unlocking the vast, luminous kingdom of your own inner world, a realm rich with untapped treasures of joy, creativity, and profound fulfillment. The final, and perhaps most vital, element in sustaining this radiant existence is the conscious cultivation of gratitude. As you walk this path, as you begin to experience the blossoming of authentic pleasure in your life, let gratitude be the sacred song your heart continually sings. Gratitude for the small moments of delight, for the profound connections, for the strength found in overcoming challenges, for the beauty that surrounds you, for the very breath that animates your being. Doubt often finds its breeding ground in a perception of lack, in focusing on what is missing. Gratitude is the divine antidote, shifting your perception to the abundance that already exists, opening you further to receive even more. When you approach your life, your body, your experiences with a heart full of thanks, you amplify the vibrations of joy, drawing towards you more of what resonates with that exquisite frequency. Let this gratitude extend even to the lessons learned through discomfort, for they too have served to guide you closer to your truth. This journey is yours. The definition of pleasure is yours. Pace is yours. There is no external scorecard, no judgment, only the ever-present invitation to align more deeply with the woman you were always meant to be. A woman radiant with self-knowledge, vibrant with authentic joy, and powerful in her purposeful expression. The whispers of doubt may never entirely vanish, for they are often echoes of an old world, an old way of being. But now you possess the wisdom and the tools to meet those whispers not with fear, but with a compassionate understanding, and a firm, unwavering commitment to your own truth. You are the alchemist of your own experience, capable of transforming any leaden moment into gold through the power of your focused intention, your loving awareness. So, go forth and dare to live a life that is an unabashed celebration of your unique female essence. Dare to prioritize your joy, not as an afterthought, but as a sacred compass guiding your every choice. Dare to shine so brightly that you illuminate the path for others. The world is hungry for the authentic, embodied pleasure of women who know their worth, who wield their power with grace, and who create from a place of profound inner contentment. Your pleasure is not just your own. It is a gift to a world yearning for more light, more love, more authentic aliveness. Embrace it. Embody it. Become it. For in mastering this focus, you do not just find pleasure. You become a source of it, a radiant beacon of what is possible when a woman fully claims the magnificent, joyful truth of her being. Your time is now. The universe adores a joyful creator. Let that creator be you.